Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Over to Sipata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Thank you Prabhuji. Today's session by Her Grace Bhavatarini Mataji. We welcome her for the today's Chaitanya Charitamrita discussion. If we want to say little few words about Mataji, Mataji is very senior disciple of Brahmana disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaja. Very happy to say Mataji has started her Krishna conscious journey from our place Salala Simantadweep, and she had many congregations association like Sharjah and Chennai congregation. She is a Bhakti Shastri also. She is very multi-talented, and I noticed very fortunately I also got so much of Mataji's association from many years, and Mataji loves to do the DT dressing. She loves that one, and Guru Maharaj transcriptions also without fail very nicely she do that committed service. So we welcome Mataji, so many children classes, Bhakti Vrukshas, so many preaching and all Mataji do, full service minded. So today from this wonderful devotee we will hear Chaitanya Charitamrita nectar. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Well, I do not have any qualifications, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My most humble obeisances at the divine lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas assembled here. My respectful obeisances unto Srila Guru Maharaj. Without him, I'm just nothing. So I welcome you all to the Chaitanya Charitamrita session. So before that, I would like to sing a small kirtan. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, very clear.
Thank you. Jai Jai Jagannath Sachidanandan Tribhuvana Kuri Jai Charana Bandhan. Jai Jai Jagannath Sachidanandan Tribhuvana Kuri Jai Charana Bandhan. Neelachale Shankh Chakra Gada Padmadhan Nadiya Nagare Dandaka Mandalukar Neelachale Shankh Chakra Gada Padmadhan Nadiya Nagare Dandaka Mandalukar Keha bale purabe Ravan badila Goloke Vaishnava Leela Prakash Korila Keha bole purabe Ravan badila Goloke Vaishnava Leela Prakash Korila Jai Jai Jagannath Sachidanandan Tribhuvana Kuri Jai Charana Bandhan Shri Radha Bhabe Beghora Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korila Prachar Shri Radha Bhabe Beghora Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korila Prachar वासुदेव घोष बोले करे जोड़ हाथ जय गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ वासुदेव घोष बोले कहे जोड़ हाथ, हे गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ, जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद, त्रिभुवन कोरे जाय चरण वंदन। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा।
Krishna, Shripada Mataji, I think we have to highlight, spotlight Bhavatarini Mataji. Mataji.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So we'll start the class. Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So previously we were discussing about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent. From this week onwards, we will see the different childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll have his appearance day in the month of March. 536 years ago, in 1486, Mahaprabhu appeared in this world. What a wonderful occasion. So let's now read few verses from chapter 14, some pastimes of Lord Chaitanya when he was so very young. Here, Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami is going to explain the childhood pastimes of Mahaprabhu in brief, as already Vrindavan Das Thakura explained in detail. Mahaprabhu's childhood pastimes are mostly in detail in Chaitanya Bhagavat. His Shesh Leela are explained in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the last class, Her Grace Radharani Mataji, and in the previous class, Her Grace Bir Krishna Prabhuji, wonderfully described about the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here we are on the chapter 14, which talks about the various childhood pastimes of Mahaprabhu. The first 5 shlokas, 1 to 5 shlokas in the session, talks about the obeisances, and 6 to 20 is the name-giving ceremony of the Lord. So we'll try to cover the verses till 20 today. Verse 1. Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vishmrite viparitam shashi chaitanyam namamitam. Things that are very difficult to become, difficult to do, become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. So this is a very important verse. We should always remember that when we are in some difficulty, we should always remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that difficult situations becomes very easy. That is the potency of Sriman Mahaprabhu. If we forget Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then everything becomes very difficult. Why we are all in difficulty? We are all in difficult conditions because we forget the Lord. Everyone in this material world faces the difficulties. No one is an exemption. Problems are coming to us in various ways. But if we are in the remembrance of Mahaprabhu, then it will definitely become very easy. It will not affect us. We can be very sure about it. But if we forget Mahaprabhu, then we can also see the situation becoming difficult for us. So I offer my obeisances to that Mahaprabhu who's an ocean of mercy. See, we should always think of Guru and Krishna when we are in some difficulty, and even sometimes when we are not able to make some decisions. If we remember, then we will not know from where those problems arose, and it will automatically change. In Chaitanya Chandramrita, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur says that whoever gets the mercy of the Lordship, they will raise to the higher platform and they don't have to worry about liberation. To attain the liberation, the yogis, jnanis are all making great effort. But when we get the mercy of Mahaprabhu, devotees don't have to worry about liberation. Bhakti is the topmost. It's above mukti. In the material world, people love to enjoy their life, especially their retired life. This material body is made like that. The people, they work so hard. They would always love to take some rest, get retirement. And that is very common in this material world. See, we are not going to remain in this material world permanently. So we should always know how we can remain in Krishna Bhakti and get back home, back to Godhead. Devotees always give preference to the service, and they always remain in that attitude. So the devotees know they don't bother about Ashtanga Siddhis or any kind of liberation. The yogis, they all do meditation and they try to control their senses. But the devotees remaining in bhakti, they are able to control their senses. Here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions about the snake. The snakes are basically, they are afraid of us actually. What is the nature of the snake? It's to bite. It's afraid that whether the people will hurt it. It's of course poisonous, but it's also basically very, very afraid or scared. It's poisonous because of its fangs. But when its fangs are broken, no more it's poisonous and no more it's fearful. So the analogy of is given here to say that through yoga practices, we should be able to control our sense. You are able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Here, Srila Prabhupada says that there is no scope for the senses of the one who is engaged in the service of the Lord to be dangerous like snake. And Mahaprabhu has given this as a gift for all of us, who has given this bhakti yoga to us, who has given the yuga dharma to us. By giving this bhakti yoga, he is engaging all our senses in the devotional service. That is a treasure given for all of us by Mahaprabhu. Those who are in this Krishna consciousness gives preference, like see, we get up early in the morning doing Mangalarti, 16 rounds of Mahamantra, Guru Puja, reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and various other scriptures. So the devotees, for the devotees in the Brahma Muhurta, all their senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. So from this we can understand how peaceful is the life of a devotee. So Mahaprabhu, he has given us this gift. Through these senses, which are like the fangs of the snakes, doesn't cause fear anymore when we are in Bhakti Yoga. Senses are actually more dangerous than the snakes. See, we all got this human form of life. We do have the senses. Now we should know how to engage these senses. Through the association of devotees, by reading various shastras. See, we should understand that only when we read the shastras with the association of the devotees, we will be able to know all these things. See, we'll be reading, just reading is not enough. So when the association of the devotees, when we read, So like even our doubts will be cleared. So in Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is said that difficult things become easy to understand if one remembers Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and easy things become very difficult to understand if one forgets him. And the purport also, Srila Prabhupada says that the great scientists also cannot understand a simple thing, that life comes from life. They do defend that life comes from matter. Why they don't understand this simple thing? They do not have the mercy of the Lordship. Here, Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami takes the shelter of Sriman Mahaprabhu, and he says, through his mercy, he was able to describe the childhood pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If someone has to write about Sriman Mahaprabhu, means that person must have been empowered by the Lord. Or it's not possible to write such literatures. So we'll go for verse 2. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So as I mentioned earlier, 1 to 5 verses, the obeisances. So here Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, he is offering his obeisances to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is glorifying like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and all the glories. He is also glorifying all his devotees. Verse 3. Prabhura kahilai janmalila shutram Yashodanandana ache hoila shachi putra. I have thus described in brief the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared as the son of Mother Sachi, exactly as Krishna appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda. So here Srila Narottamadas Thakur confirms that the son of Mother Sachi appears as the son of Mother Yashoda appears as the son of Mother Sachi. Vrajendra Nandana Ye Shachi Shuta Haila She Balarama Haile Nitai. So we should understand that the son of Mother Sachi is the son of Mother Yashoda, and Balarama comes here as Lord Nityananda. Text form. Shankashepe Kaila Janma Lila Anukrama Ebe Kahi Balya Lila Shutri Raganan. I have already briefly spoken about the pastimes of his birth in chronological order. Now I shall give a synopsis of his childhood pastimes. So here Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami states that he had already spoken about these pastimes of Mahaprabhu in the chronological order, and he is going to give the synopsis. Text 5. Vande Chaitanya Krishnasya Balya Leela Manoharam Laukiki Mapitham Isha Chestaya Valitantaram. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the child pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord Krishna himself. Although such pastimes appear exactly like those of an ordinary child, they should be understood as various pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this verse of the chapter 14, this 5th verse, is the key. If we understand this verse, then we can unlock the particular entire chapter. And if we don't understand this verse, then we cannot understand this chapter. Third, we have to understand, although Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just looks like an ordinary child in his dealings and all, but we will see that how something extraordinary will always happen along with him. Although he looks like an ordinary child, yet he is not different from Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Krishna's childhood pastimes, there is so much sweetness. Like if we want to get attracted to Krishna, all we need to do is just read his childhood pastimes and meditate upon them. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we read his Balilila, we get to see, though he appears to be an ordinary child, yet he is Lord Sri Krishna himself. We have to understand that they are the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Previously we saw the childhood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Avirbhav, his appearance. Now we are giving the name-giving ceremony of the Lord. Here Srila Prabhupada quotes the verse from Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavamajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So in this verse, Krishna says, he comes every yuga, yuge. But now in Kali Yuga, we have become more advanced. Therefore, instead of having avatar every yuga, that is, or every age, every millennium, we are not only having it every millennium, not only every decade, every year, every month, every day, every hour, we are having new avatars. Maybe we'll have an avatar of an hour. See, we should understand that it's not like a queen for a day or a king for a day or a PM or CM for a day. That everyone and anyone is an avatar. Avatar actually is understood by bodily symptoms, by activities, and by the scriptures. These three things are always to be authentic. The condition of the people now is when some avatar makes the promise that I will give you whatever you want. Merely people just rush to worship without even having the knowledge whether it is authentic or not. So here, Lord Chaitanya's activities, even though it appears like a small boy, but they are all uncommon pastimes, and Srila Prabhupada states that it is impossible for any normal child to do. Lord Chaitanya appeared as a small boy in the womb of his mother. Even though he appeared as a small child, like he had all the symptoms of a Mahapurush, all the 32 symptoms. And here Neelambara Chakravarti Thakur, he saw these symptoms and he also confirmed that according to the astrological calculations, he had predicted that the Lord was actually going to establish pure devotional service, the worship of Krishna in the world. So for this reason, now we will read this next verse that Neelambara Chakravarti is giving the name to Lord Chaitanya. So 6 to 20 verse name giving ceremony. Now we'll go for verse number 6. Balya Leelaya Age Prabhurutana Shayan Pita Mataya Dikila Chinacharan. In his first childhood pastimes, the Lord turned upside down while lying on his bed, and thus he showed his parents the marks on his lotus feet. Related to this, there is one more verse in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Adi Kandi Dvaja Vajra Ankusha Pata Grihe Maje Apurva Dikila Pita Mata. The translation of the verse goes like this. In the Adi Kanda, the Lord's parents are astonished to see footprints marked with the signs of a banner, thunderbolt, elephant goat, and a flag. The symptoms of a great personality like banner, thunderbolt, elephant goat, and flag are mentioned in the Samudrika. These marks are eternally manifested on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Whenever the Lord walked within the house, he left such impressions of these marks seen by Mother Sachi. So now this is the first pastime. when the Lord first time turns upside down, and that was the time Mother Shachi and Jagannath Mishra noticed the marks on his lotus feet. They noticed that there were some special marks. There are some special items on his lotus feet. So that differentiate human from the Lord. Unique auspicious signs were present. The parents noticed at that time. So when the Lord appears as a child, small child, he appears as a baby. See, he plays the part perfectly, just giving his devotees who are acting as his mother and father the pleasure of being able to serve him in the baby form. So that the Supreme Lord has these marks on his lotus feet, that is conch shell, lotus, different marks. Even Lord Vishnu had got certain marks. Lord Krishna certain marks, which normal people, which conditioned human beings do not have those types of specific marks on their feet. There is the Lord. The Lord has his on his lotus feet. Verse number 7. Grihe dui jana deki lagu padachina tahe shobhe dvaja vajra shank chakramina. When the Lord tried to walk in his small footprints, the specific marks of Lord Vishnu were visible, namely the flag, thunderbolt, conch shell, disc, and fish. This is also very unique. When the Lord started moving a little bit, when he started to walk, when his lotus feet pressed the bhumi, that is the earth, a small footprint came, and in that footprint, all the signs like flag, thunderbolt, conch shell, disc, and fish were seen. When Lord Sri Krishna walked, that is started walking in Vraj, all these symbols were seen in his lotus feet. Verse 8. Dekiya donara chite janmila vishmaya kara pada chinha gare napaya nishaya. Seeing all these marks, neither his father nor his mother could understand whose footprints they are. Thus struck with wonder, they could not understand how these marks could be possible in their home. Seeing this, both of them, that is mother and father, Shachimata and Jagannath Mishra, they were so astonished. Both of them could not understand whose footprints they were. They could not understand how those marks were possible in their house. Seeing these footmarks, see what the parents thought. Verse 9. Mishra kahi bala gopal chishila shanghe teno moti hana gare kela jhani range. Jagannath Mishra said, certainly child Krishna is with the Shalagram Shila. Taking his childhood form, he is playing within this room. So, when the form of the Lord is carved, maybe it can be wood or stone or even brick, whatever it may be, we should understand that the Lord is present there, personally present there. Here, Srila Prabhupada also has given that these material elements are expansions of the Lordship. So, Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata, they have the Shalagram Shila in their house. Certainly, they thought certainly child Krishna with the Shalagram Shila, and that Shila has taken the child form and he was walking in the house. They thought that Shalagram Shila has become the baby form, baby Krishna. Took the baby form and was walking, and that's the reason there are those footprints. So Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, they are the very strict devotees. They would not eat anything without worshipping first their Narayan Shalagram Shila. So they had their deities in their house. So they didn't know where these footprints were coming from. They thought the deity was playing around at times when they weren't looking, and therefore these footprints were coming from visible, and somehow they could not see the footprints on Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet very clearly. But when he walked and the impression was left in the dust and those marks became visible, that means that these markings on the feet are actually transcendental. Verse 10. Sikshani jagini mai kare akrandan ankela no shachitan re piyaranam. While Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra were talking, child Nimai woke up and began to cry, and Mother Sachi took him on her lap and allowed him to suck her breast. So while both of them were talking about the footprints, from where these footprints are coming, they were discussing whether the Shaligram Sheila take the baby form, and all these discussions were happening, right? So that time, like child Nimai, he woke up and he was crying, he was hungry, he wanted to have the milk. So next verse, number 11. Sthana piyate putrera charana dekila while Mother Shachi was feeding the child from her breast, she saw on her lotus feet all the marks that were visible on the floor of the room, and she called for Jagannath Mishra. So here Mother Sachi was feeding the child so lovingly. She was feeding, and you all know when mothers feed the child, they will just do massage for the child. They will just look the child's hands, feet, and everything. They will, they will touch their hair, and all these things will happen. So that time Mother Sachi, she saw the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She sees that where and all Mahaprabhu walked, she could see the footprints with the marks on the floor, and now she calls Jagannath Mishra. Verse 12. Dekhiya Mishra haile anandita mati Gupta bolila Nilambara Chakravarti. So, when Jagannath Mishra saw the wonderful marks on the soul of his son, he became very joyful and privately called for Nilambara Chakravarti. So Nilambara Chakravarti is the grandfather of Mahaprabhu and father of Sachi Devi. He was invited because he was a very famous astrologer, and he was called and asked what these auspicious symbols or markings are for. Mother Sachi could see the footprints on the foot of Mahaprabhu, and Jagannath Mishra saw the marks on the soul of Mahaprabhu. So they became so joyful, and they invited Nilambara Chakravarti to ask for the reason. Verse 13. Chinnadiki Chakravarti Balena Hashiya Lagna Gani Purvami Rakiya Chilikiya. When Nilambara Chakravarti saw those marks, he smilingly said, "Formerly I ascertained all this by astrological calculations and noted it in writing." So Nilambara Chakravarti, based on the astrological calculations and the appearance of the baby Nima, he could predict everything. So he has noted it down, all the astrological calculations, he has noted it down. So verse 14. Batrisha Lakshana Mahapurusha Bhushana Ei Shishu Angedeki Shishabo Lakshana. There are 32 bodily marks that symptomize a great personality, and I see all those marks on the body of this child. So here he could predict that he will be a great personality, and he could see all the 32 bodily marks like long arms, short neck, short ears, sharp nose, and red or rosy palms, rosy lips, upper lips, lower lips, soles, nails, etc. So the great personalities will be known even from their body. Their body will have special symbols. And all of those marks present in this baby now, all of those 32 marks are present in baby Nimai's lotus feet. So now we do have the Samudrika silks also. So I didn't get that Samudrika silks. Maybe we can check if all the 32 bodily marks are there. 32 marks are there on that Samudrika Pattu. Verse 15. Panchadirga, Panchashikshma, Sapta Rakta Sadhunata, Trihashava Pritu Gambiro, Dvatrimshal Lakshano Mahan. There are 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality. 5 of his bodily parts are large, 5 fine, 7 reddish, 6 raised, 3 small, 3 broad, and 3 grave. So those 32 Samudrika Lakshanas are elaborately given in this verse. Verse 16. Narayanira China Yukta Shri Hasta Charan Shishu Sarvaloki Karibetaranam. This baby has all the symptoms of Lord Narayana on his palms and soles. He will be able to deliver all the 3 worlds. So everyone in this material world is longing to enjoy the things in the material world. They don't even want to come to the spiritual platform. Say, for example, if we call for any program or class, they do not want to come. They say they do not have time. So they don't want to enjoy their life. They do not want to advance in the spiritual life. I am born here to enjoy my spiritual, my material life. Say they don't know what is the purpose of getting this human form of life, human body. So this baby, he has all the symptoms of Lord Narayana on his palms and soles. Then he will be, Nilambar Chakravarti says, to deliver all the 3 worlds. We'll go for verse number 17. Ita karibe Vaishnavira dharmera prachara Iha haite habedui kulera nishtara. This child will preach the Vaishnava cult and deliver both his maternal and paternal families. This is the prediction which Nilambara Chakravarti made after observing the child as how he was having all the 32 marks, and he concluded that this child will preach the Vaishnava cult and deliver both the maternal and paternal families. What a beautiful conclusion. Now there is a question. Who has the power to preach the Vaishnava cult? Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the bona fide devotees of the Supreme Lord have this amazing power to preach this Vaishnava cult and deliver everyone. These personalities will deliver the maternal and paternal families. This is actually the benediction for every one of us to become a preacher. The maternal and paternal lineage, everyone will get benefit out of it. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj was assured of this benediction by Lord Nrsimhadeva. Lord Nrsimhadev says, in a family, neophyte devotee is born. Who are the neophyte devotees? Who are not very serious. Still, he can purify his generations and forefathers. Generally, the Uttama Adhikaris will deliver 21 generations, Madhyama Adhikaris will deliver 7 generations, and Kanishta Adhikari can deliver 3 generations. So Bhakti is so powerful. Once even Guru Maharaja said, answering one of the devotees' question, so if you have 2 children, at least make one of them a pure devotee. They can deliver your generation. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.10.15 to 19 verses, I would like to read out the translation alone. Prahlad Maharaj said, O Supreme Lord, because you are the merciful. You are so merciful to the fallen souls. I ask you for only one benediction. I know that my father, at the time of his death, had already been purified by your glance upon him, but because of his ignorance of your beautiful power and supremacy, he was unnecessarily angry at you, falsely thinking that you were the killer of his brother. Thus, he directly blasphemed your lordship, the spiritual master of all living beings, and committed heavily sinful activities directed against me, your devotee. I wish that he be excused for these sinful activities. This is the request from Srila Prahlad Maharaj. And then the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Prahlad, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified. Whenever and wherever there are peaceful, equipoised devotees who are well behaved and decorated with all good qualities, that place and the dynasties there, even if condemned, are purified. So then what to speak of Caitanya, Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself? This is what is said, that this child will deliver both his maternal and paternal families. Now we'll go for verse number 18 and 19 together. Mahotsava Karashabha Bolaha Brahmana Ajidina Bala Kariba Namakarana. I propose to perform a name-giving ceremony. We should observe a festival and call for the Brahmanas because today is very auspicious. Verse 19. Sarvalokera karibehan dharana poshan Vishwambara namaiha revite karana. In the future, this child will protect and maintain all the world. For this reason, he is to be called Vishwambara. So here the name-giving ceremony is happening. Immediately after predicting, Nilamra Chakravarti announces that there should be a name-giving ceremony and you should organize as a big festival, invite all the Brahmanas, and it should happen today itself because the day is very auspicious. And he also says that this child in future will maintain and protect the whole world. So his name should be Vishwambar. So Srila Prabhupada states in the purport that Mahaprabhu was accepted as an incarnation of Krishna, not on the basis of popular votes, but by the evidence from the Shastras. As I mentioned earlier, it should be there. The evidence should be there. And bona fide scholars. So it was not ordinary men who accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the beginning, Nilamra Chakravarti himself identified that, and later all his activities were confirmed by Jiva Goswami and the 6 Goswamis, especially the Jiva Goswami and the Srila Rupa Goswami. So here we have to note that in the Vedic culture, everything has samskar. So here in the purport, it's given about 10 types of samskar, 10 kinds of samskar. But there are also 16 kinds of samskar. I'll just name all the samskars. Here now, Garbhadhan samskar, even before the parents conceive the child, there is Garbhadhan samskar. There everything begins. It's not accidental, completely purified consciousness. The mother and father come together and they will pray to Lord Vishnu, and then they conceive the child. There are Garbhadana samskar. There the Garbhadana samskar begins, and then there are different kinds of samskar. Pumsavan samskar, Simantanayan, Jhata Karma Samskar, Namakarana Samskar, Nishkramana Samskar. Nishkramana Samskar means in the 3rd month the child is allowed, that is have the darshan of the fire and moon. Okay, and in the 4th month he is taken out of the house for the first time, by the father, that is maternal uncle, to the, by the father, either by the father or by the maternal uncle to the temple to take the darshan of the lordship. That is Nishkramana Samskar. Then comes the Annaprashana Samskar. Feeding the child with solid food is the next important Samskar. Nowadays, we can see during Guru Maharaj's virtual visit, every day Guru Maharaj, many devotees, they do this Annaprashana Samskar when where Guru Maharaj's servant will recite the mantra, and Guru Maharaj also bless the child, and the parents will feed the child 3 times, 5 times. Then Chudakarana Samskar. Chuda means the lock or tuft of hair is kept after the remaining part is shaved off. And then Karnaveda. Karnaveda means that is piercing the ear. Then Upanayan Samskar, we all know Upanayan. Then Keshanta, that is hairs are cut and Guru Dakshina is given. Then Samavartana, that is the end of the Brahmacharya phase. Okay. And then the Vivaha, then Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, and Antyeshti is the last rites done after death. So here it's mentioned about the Namakarana Samskar. In all these Samskar, very essential thing is feeding the Brahmanas or the Vaishnavas and giving some charity. See, normally nowadays we see in the birthday parties and all, we all see that the birthday boy or girl will receive the gift. Of course, we can give the gift, but here we are talking about giving the gift. Any special occasion should be marked with giving charity. Charity to the Supreme Lord. Charity to the people who are connected to the Supreme Lord. Here in this verse, it's Mahotsava Karashabak Bolaha Brahmana. Who are the Brahmanas? Those who wear the sacred thread, but they are not alone Brahmana. Brahmana is one who has the knowledge about God, who understands the message about God, who understands and live by Bhagavad Gita. Those people are considered Brahmanas. Nilamra Chakravarti says, invite them. We can have Namkaran, that is name-giving ceremony. And names also represent certain qualities of the persons. That is why before giving the name, there is Jatakarma Samskar, where they'll read out the astrological charts, like how now Nilambara Chakravarti did. He identified the qualities and said, because this person is the maintainer of the world, let's give the name Vishwambar. So, Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he has got various other names also. Like Advaita Thakura's wife, Sri Sita Thakurani, she names the child Nimai because he was born under the neem tree, and also to protect the baby from ghosts and evil spirits, she named the child as Nimai. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets one name, Gauranga. And how he gets the name Gauranga? Because he has the golden complexion. And all these names are actually relevant to a person, and that's how the Namakaran happens. So we go for verse number 20. Shuni Shachi Mishri Ramane Ananda Adilila Brahmana Brahmaniyani Mahotsava Kaila. After hearing Nilambara Chakravarti's prediction, Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra observed the name-giving festival in great joy, inviting all the Brahmanas and their wives. Here, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the name Vishwambar is also mentioned in the Atharva Veda Samhita, that is in 3.3.16.5. Vishwambara Vishvena Ma Bharasha Pahi Swaha. That is the, it's mentioned in the Atharva Veda. Also, it is mentioned in Vishnu Sahasranama also, that like Hemanga, Varanga and all, they are all the names of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. So, Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, after hearing the prediction from Nilambara Chakravarti, they observed the Namakaran festival in great joy. So in the Vedic system, all the festivals like name giving, birthday, marriage, etc. are all observed by inviting the Brahmanas. Now we see people invite their friends for birthdays or any festivals. Everything totally material. Like recently also I saw a video. Of course, they are my friends who are like Christians. They are in Dubai. Like they were celebrating the birthday by drinking wine. Totally material nowadays, everything. So in Vedic times, they invite the Brahmanas and get their blessings. So nowadays we see devotees also celebrate their birthdays and they invite the Vaishnavas and offer prasad to them, keep kirtan. And now, most importantly, we are getting the blessings of Guru Maharaj virtually. What more we need? Getting blessing from a pure devotee. This is the way to celebrate the festivals. So with that, we will come to an end of today's class. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I thank you all so much. I thank all the devotees for tolerating the lecture. So I do not have any qualification to even talk about Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is with the complete mercy of Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Whatever I heard from Guru Maharaj, whatever I heard from the senior Vaishnavas, I'm just repeating. I personally do not have any qualification. So kindly please bless me. Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for the wonderful nectar. Devotees, please, if you have any question and answers, you can ask Mataji.
I don't have any qualification to answer the questions at all.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, please continue.
You provided many information. So one thing you said, the Madhyamadhikari, they can deliver 7 generations, and the Kanishta they can deliver 3 generations. Can you elaborate a little, Mataji?
So that is what I heard from Guru Maharaj in one of the lecture. So I'm doing this Chaitanya Leela proofreading services, where in that Guru Maharaj mentioned that this Uttamadhikaris can deliver that 21 generations, and Madhyamadhikaris 7 generations, and the Kanishta Adhikari, who are the new devotees who are not very serious, also can deliver 3 generations. This is the information I do have. Any other devotees, if they have, they can kindly elaborate on this.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. And also you told the Samudrika, something you told we'll check 32. I could not get it, Mataji.
No. Like nowadays, like Samudrika, Samudrika Lakshana is 32. Okay, those thing. And nowadays we do have the Samudrika silk sari also. So I have not bought that sari. I said maybe we can check if there are 32 symbols in that sari. Samudrika silk patta is there available.
Basically, Samudrika is belongs to astrology group. That Hasta Samudrika we will say. That is the word.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
No further questions? Okay. So, shall we wind up here? Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful nectar. We will continue the nectar next with Shyam Sundar Leela Raj Prabhu, another wonderful devotee. So, we are waiting for that. Mataji, can you please conclude, Mataji?
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Satyanarayana Premanande. Hari Hari.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.